Dorohedoro, Episode 3, Night of the Living Dead review. And before we start the video, I want to give a shout out to my friend, Sebastian C. He's got a monthly Icky anime series that is ongoing. Go check that out. But with that said, let's do it! So did I mention zombies? Because I can't emphasize this enough. Alright, so in the last episode, we mentioned that the sorcerer smoke mixes with the rain. Well, as a result of that fact, the rain comes down and it has the tendency to bring zombies or dead people alive in a night called Night of the Living Dead. And in the hole, they make a little game of it, if you will. The various members of the hole prepare themselves, they get all their combat equipment, they get ready to battle because they gotta take out all the zombies because, you know, they're a pest and they're gonna ruin all the shit in the city. I mean, the city looks like crap anyway, but, you know, they gotta protect themselves. So anyway, pretty epic stuff. I mean, I gotta say the battle sequences here are really nice. And when Shin and his group come to the hole and they see the zombies, it's pretty hilarious because he's like, I used to grow up in the hole. This brings back old memories. And then he sees the zombies and he's like, well, what the hell are those guys doing there? So pretty humorous stuff, but some pretty epic battle sequences, like I said. And after Shin and his group are done dealing with the zombies, they run into Keiman and Nikaido. And we got a battle between the sorcerers and the inhabitants of the hole. So Keiman decides to take on Shin. I gotta say, some nice fluid action sequences, some nice choreography, very nice battle sequences. I was very happy with how this was adapted. Looked very nice. The fight between Nikaido and Noi was splendid as well. Very nicely executed. And what I really love is that they didn't shy away from the blood whatsoever. You know, when Shin gets to the point where he sticks the backside of his hammer into Keiman's neck, I mean, you just see blood spraying out like a fire hose. I mean, it's, you know, they went all out. So really nice stuff. And especially at like the end of their encounter when Shin cuts his entire head off completely and you just got blood spraying out. And then you see that specter that's inside of Keiman's mouth still attached to the lizard man's neck. Really nice stuff. I really enjoyed this. And I gotta say, I like the part where Ibisu's just having her head gnawed on by the various zombies in the hole. Very nice. Oh, I forgot to mention this. In the earlier parts of the episode before Night of the Living Dead, Shin and Noi decided to heal Ibisu. Now, if you remember from episode 1, Ibisu's face got bitten off by Keiman, and she was kind of messed up as a result of it. So one of Noi's powers that we learn in this episode is that she can blow black smoke like onto an injured body part, and it can heal up good as new. However, the mind is a little bit different. So it turns out that Ibisu's face looks pristine and new again. However, she's not all there. She's a little bit out of it, if you will, which makes for a lot of comedic moments. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how that all sort of plays out in the future. Then, after the encounter between Shin and Keiman, as Keiman is, you know, got his head cut off, Nikaido decides to bust out a magic door. That's right, son, she's a fucking sorcerer! Ow! So, big surprise there. She is a sorcerer. She does have magical abilities. Now, she just summoned a door, so we don't know exactly, like, what sort of magical abilities she has at this point, but we know that she does have them, so very interesting stuff. They escape. Now, a couple days afterwards, Dr. Vox heals up Keiman, and guess what? His head grows back. And they save the head that was cut off. And this is very pivotal because they want to do some tests on the head. They want to see if they can ascertain any sort of information and maybe, you know, get a little bit closer to figuring out who Keiman originally was. And there's a really humorous scene right before this happens where Keiman's carrying his own head in a glass jar as he's walking down a dark alley. And he's like, oh, you know, it's kind of weird holding my own head in a dark alley. So a nice bit of dark comedy there, really well timed. And also, right before we do the test results on Keiman's head, Nikaido reveals some very pivotal information to Keiman's past. She mentions that she originally worked in the hole as like a cleanup crew. She used to go around and collect the dead bodies of the inhabitants of the hole who were killed by various sorcerers. And one day when she was walking down that corridor that Cayman always stops at and sees like that shadowy figure, she saw a dead body there. Now she went away and she got some friends to help her out. But when she came back, the dead body, well, wasn't so much dead anymore. It didn't have a head, but it was walking around. So very cryptic stuff. Like, what is going on here? Like, what happened to Cayman? How did he end up in this alley? How did he become a lizard man? We just got to keep watching to find that all out. But then after that, we're doing the test on Cayman's head. Dr. Vox has a nice little joke where he takes out Cayman's brain and he's weighing it. So he's like, normal weight for a brain. I'm surprised there's a right hemisphere. So Cayman gets a little bit pissed. Dr. Vox is pretty subtle with his jokes, he's not too overt. He's just going to slide them in there with no mercy. But right when they're doing the test on Cayman's head, unfortunately, the lights go out in the hospital. So they're looking for a circuit breaker. They're going around the hospital. And at one point, we see Cayman with a flashlight. And behind him, a dark, shadowy figure appears. And it's holding Cayman's head in a jar. And it walks away. So someone stole Cayman's head. Now, who the hell was this? We don't know. We can only speculate. It could be a sorcerer. Maybe it was someone related to Cayman and knows him. Who knows? We just have to keep watching. But then, at the very end of the episode, we see En. He's showing off a new motorcycle, or I believe he calls it a sorcerer broom, to Shin, and I gotta say, this is a pretty impressive bike. I gotta buy one of these for myself. Marty McFly might have cool skateboards, but man, a flying motorcycle, I think that takes the cake. And that's about the end of the episode. We did get a new ending this week as well. It's kind of a two-dimensional, like, Super Mario ending. Very nice stuff. I did enjoy that. And I love the part where Abisu and Vegeta are just kind of walking and you see the zombies chasing them. So that was a nice little addition to this week's episode. So, overall impressions, I enjoyed this episode. I thought the battle sequences were well executed. They looked fluid. The animation looked nice. I'm still not a big fan of like the facial aesthetics of the various characters. I feel like they still look a little bit too pudgy and they lack a bit of detail. However, I really can't complain this much. I felt like this episode was just executed beautifully. It really got your heart rate up, had a lot of nice jokes. We're doing a lot of nice world building as well. We're getting to learn more about the characters. So really nice stuff. I have really no complaints about this one. I think we'll leave it there for now. If you guys do have the time, I did drop a Dorohedoro abridged episode 1 yesterday. So if you're looking for a good laugh, go check that out. And I also have released 6 volumes of the manga. So if you can't wait for the next episode of Dorohedoro, you can go watch those. But with that said, guys, I'll catch you on the flip side.